Around 600 years ago, the Dutch used to make golf balls by stuffing feathers into a leather sack. With time, improvements were made to the ball, making it cheaper and more aerodynamic. Today, the golf ball market brings in around $550 million in annual sales, with over 850 million golf balls being manufactured and shipped every year. So how are they made? Golf ball cores are typically made from a material called polybutadiene. Not only does this material offer excellent resilience and durability, but it also has a high coefficient of restitution. What this means is that it has the ability to deform upon impact and quickly regain its original shape, resulting in high ball speed. Polybutadiene itself is made from a process known as polymerization. There are multiple types of polymerizations, but what's used to make the material we're after is called solution polymerization. The polybutadiene rubber, along with any necessary additives or fillers, is mixed and prepared according to the desired formulation. Then, the mixture is typically heated and softened for easier processing, which gives it a cake batter-like appearance. The prepared polybutadiene material is then fed into a series of calendering rollers, which are typically made of steel or other durable materials. The material comes out of the rollers in the form of sheets. Once the sheets are formed, the next step is to cut or punch out cylindrical slugs from the sheet material. Specialized cutting or punching machines are used to create these slugs. The slugs then travel on a conveyor over to a compression molding machine. Here, a worker places the slugs into the steel molds. When the door closes, the bottom part of the mold presses up against the top part, applying over a ton of pressure. The newly rounded rubber is also cooking at 160 degrees Celsius. This is done for a period of 13 minutes to harden the rubber. After the cores are cooled with water, a worker places a piece of slotted plexiglass over the mold. This holds down the leftover trimmings, so only the ball shapes get picked off by the vacuum. The cover or casing of the golf ball is made separately. The casing material can vary, but is commonly made of a blend of ionomer resins or urethane. The casing material is heated and formed into two hemispheres, often called the top and bottom half. The core is placed inside one of the casing hemispheres. The interior surface of the casing is often treated with a special adhesive or primer to enhance the bonding process. The other hemisphere is then placed on top, and the two halves are pressed together with high pressure to ensure a secure bond. The bonded core and casing are placed in a compression mold once again. The mold has a dimple pattern and the desired golf ball shape engraved on its inner surface. Dimples are crucial for the aerodynamics of the ball, as they help reduce drag and provide lift during flight. Dimple patterns can vary depending on the brand and model of the golf ball. Heat and pressure are applied to the mold, compressing the core and casing together and giving the ball its final shape. After the compression molding, the golf balls are removed from the mold and are on the move. They roll into a bin which funnels them into a golf ball elevator. The excess material, known as the flash, is trimmed away. This is done through an automatic miller which removes the excess plastic. The surface of the golf ball is then polished to ensure a smooth and consistent finish. The golf balls then undergo rigorous quality control checks. This includes measuring the weight, size, and compression of the balls, as well as inspecting them for any cosmetic imperfections. One way the factories do this is to use robotic arms to shuttle the balls through a chute entry. If the ball is not smooth and uniform, it won't go through this hole. Only the golf balls that meet the specified standards move toward the next step. A wheel rolls the golf balls towards a stamping machine. Robotic arms carry silicone pads to an etched steel plate. After the balls are branded with a company name, player number, and ball type, ultraviolet light hardens the ink. Then, an automated machine sprays the ball with polyurethane while they rotate atop spindles. This protects the ink logos that have been stamped on the balls. Finally, robotic arms carry the balls over to a drying rack, where they are heated at 66 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. The balls are finally done and are packaged and shipped for sale. A completed golf ball can have anywhere from 300 to 500 dimples. If you liked the video, subscribe to our channel and let us know in the comments what our next video should be about. Bowling may seem like a modern sport, but history tells us it's been played for over 5,000 years in one form or another. There's just something about watching a ball hit a bunch of pins, which is why 65 million people play the sport in just the United States each year. Bowling balls may look deceptively simple, but a lot goes on underneath that shell. So, how are bowling balls made? The first step in making a bowling ball is to create the asymmetrical core, which gives the ball its weight and shape. Why asymmetrical? Well, with an asymmetrical core, bowlers have more control over the ball's motion and can adjust their playing style accordingly, helping them adapt to different lane conditions. Cores are typically made of a dense material like urethane or resin. Factories may also mix minerals like barite, silica powder, or limestone. The result is a chocolatey solution that's poured into the mold. These molds are pre-designed using a computerized design process. What would otherwise be a slow hardening process is sped up by a catalyst, which allows the mixture in the mold to cure and solidify in just 2 minutes. The result is an elliptical core. Keep in mind that the core design might change depending on a number of variables, like player skill level and conditions of the bowling lane. The next step in the process is to cover the core of the bowling ball with filler material. A 2-piece mold is used for this process. The mold consists of an upper and lower half that fit together. To ready the core to be placed in the mold, it is drilled to make a pinhole. This allows the core to be suspended in just the right position in the second mold. The center is about to be held in a more uniform sphere. The core is then pressed into the bottom part of the mold and the top is locked into place, preventing any filler from leaking out. The filler core is made of light but rigid substances like glass beads or polyester mixed with resin for hardening purposes. The manufacturers usually think of the filler core as the part where the bowling ball's final weight can be fine-tuned, so they add or subtract the materials as needed. It can take days for the filler to harden around the center, depending on the formulation and type of bowling ball being made. After the ball is removed from the mold, the excess material is shaved off and the core is now encased in a symmetrical shell. It's time for the bowling ball to be placed in another mold. This will encase it in an outer skin commonly known as a veneer. This veneer has been scientifically formulated to further improve the ball's traction abilities, allowing it to curve toward the pins as it rolls down the alley. It's made of colorant, plasticizer, a chemical called ISO, and urethane. Blending these ingredients together produces high-performance polyurethane. As the mix flows into the mold, a chemical reaction causes it to heat up and solidify in just a few seconds. It's then put into an oven to boost the chemical reaction. Next, a spinning grinder shaves off the excess material that was formed as a result of the mold. A lift system delivers the bowling ball to a sanding machine. Here, the ball undergoes sanding and polishing to achieve the desired surface texture and shine. This process involves using abrasive materials of varying grits to smooth out imperfections and create the desired finish. Next, the ball is placed in a specialized machine equipped with a laser engraving system. The laser is programmed to follow the desired design, and it uses high-intensity light to etch or engrave the logos onto the surface of the ball. Once the logos are laser marked, paint is applied to fill in the engraved areas. The paint color is typically chosen to contrast with the ball's surface color, making the logos more visible. The ball is then given one last sanding as a constant flow of water removes any powdery residue or unwanted paint. The surface of the ball is then polished or buffed to achieve the desired appearance and smoothness. All that's left is to drill the finger holes. The finished ball is inspected to ensure it meets the required specifications for weight, diameter, balance, and surface characteristics. Any defects or issues are identified and addressed at this stage. The final step involves packaging the bowling ball for shipment. The ball is typically placed in protective packaging materials such as a box or bag to ensure safe transport to retailers or customers. Bowling continues to get popular, and the industry is expected to reach a market cap of over $1 billion by 2028. If you like this video and want to check out more like it, subscribe for new videos every week.